Gotten tired of seeing the reruns the last couple of weeks, so we're back. We've been busy. Like I said on DNS Live, we've been busy, Candy. We got, I don't know, like 46,000 members we got to deal with on the page.
48.
Oh my God. It's already up there?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, I haven't been
we got
numbers.
We got 48,000, like 27 members. We got, hey, digging. We've got 51 reps. I mean, we've got like 27 committees. We are busy. Very, very busy.
You know what's so funny? You just said 51. You know, when NPS first started with the reps, there was a rep for every state, and we kept thinking 50 was a lot. But, you know, at that time, we had, a couple thousand?
I know! The members think they're micromanaged now. Nuh-uh.
No.
The rules were much different then, and the whole para-bullying thing was going on in a great big way. You couldn't say booger without somebody thinking, you were saying that about me. You know, it was. Yeah. We had some very strong.
Go ahead.
We had some really strong personalities who weren't interested in growing NPS as a whole. It was very much about I'm set in my ways kind of thing, and I don't personally have too much time for that, because right there's that limits the opportunity for us to grow or learn, because of course they knew it all, and I got called some real colorful things. I got asked if I was a woman. I've got asked if Candy's my real name. I've gotten called a para-whore. Whole bunch of stuff, which was just news to me. I was like, you're right on.
Y'all just need to call her what we call her. We call her the boss bitch. We got boss bitch and diva in the room.
God, if my kids would listen.
I think the members listen better than our kids sometimes.
I'm certain of it. They
remain with our kids.
Yeah, that's and that's one of the things like on our page that kind of that I think some of the new people who come in who don't read our protocol, who don't have any intention of being around, forget that we have kids on the page, including mine. So, if you wouldn't want me talking like that to your kids, please don't speak like that on the page. And it's not that the swear words, it's so much of that is, well, it's the fear mongering sometimes, like in some of the demonology posts and stuff like that, or just in those obscure, pixelated, poor quality photos. Dude, I can go take a picture of, my wall right here, and we can make faces and stuff out in it all day long. Doesn't mean it's paranormal. We need to take that next step, and NPS is getting ready to take that next step, whether they're wanting to or not, because if we can't get past the poor quality pictures and the rampant pareidolia, we aren't going to go anywhere. And I got to thinking the other day about like the metrics, like to particles per cubic inch of air. And I got to thinking about the ocean and how many drops of water and all the water, all water bodies. Well, that's only a fraction of what's in the air, in our atmosphere. And we're sitting here every single day fighting the orb situation. And I guess it's not that I'm a non-believer, but I am so skeptical because of the photo quality, we're going to build a better boat. We got to start by bringing on better materials, so. And
there's so much more to try to prove other than an orb. You know what I mean? People have caught apparitions. People have caught mist. Why are we so attached to and infatuated with orbs?
I think they're having legitimate and profound personal experiences, and to legitimize their experience, they're going, well, look, there was an orb. Well, no, dude, you had a dust particle. I'm sorry. Well, I don't have dust in my house. You've got pets. I see them over there. Yeah. You've got pet dander. You shed. People do. I don't know. And they're telling me they're not having orbs in Georgia in the middle of July. Come on now.
Really? So I guess everybody in Georgia, shaves their entire body. There's no hair, and they don't have, nail and skin cells.
And there's no moisture in the air either, so,
I don't get it. And, it's like the whole pictures that I put up that Deegan and I did when we went and did that experiment that weekend, and everybody's like, oh, no, those are orbs. No, I know. I'm not asking you to tell me what they are. I'm not asking you to verify it's an orb, because I know what it is. I did the experiment. And it's like when I tell people it's bugs, there's no way bugs could look like that. Well, I purposely did that experiment with these tiny little bugs that were about the size of gnats flying all around us on purpose to make a point. There was nothing paranormal going on at the time. So how can you attach it to there? Oh, Lord, now everything's going to hell. Paratards in the room. What's up, chat room?
Hi, guys. Well, I think our group got so big so quickly once we closed it, and now everybody feels safe and comfortable. Okay, good. So now everybody's, held hands and kumbaya. We're going to take the next step, and it's probably going to cause a culling, which is fine. Attrition. Not everything is for everybody, and we've got some amazing people coming into the room, and we need to move it forward. I don't know if the members know this, but we've had a huge surge in our committees. All of our representatives have been appointed to one of the outline committees, and now they're going to start pressing education, and we're hoping that they can bring new articles, new thoughts, new theories to the page for us to discuss, and that will take away from some of these what do you see pictures, because that is basically asking somebody to read the picture. It's not giving anybody any information, and it's inundating the page with subjectivity, because nobody really wants to hear that I don't see anything in your picture except for some pixelization and poor quality. Again, emotional attachments to the evidentiary or submissions doesn't help anyone. Objectivity is lost, so is opportunity. If I put something on, if I decided to post a picture, which I rarely ever have, and that's because it can't get past me. If it doesn't get past me, it's not going to get past you,
right.
And I've been called a non-believer and all these things because I question stuff. Well, hell yeah, I question stuff. My kids tell me something. Well, my kids tell me something, I question the hell out of them. Why? Because, I'm a naturally suspicious person. And then I question the relevancy because I'm a Libra and I can't help myself. And then I make a decision and I'd ask another question because it could possibly be something else. Jesus Christ. And my whole educated answer anymore is, well, it depends.
Oh my God, we're going to have to.
I know that's my master's level education response. It depends.
Y'all see what we have to deal with now behind the scenes? It's like, it's 20 questions, and then we're 20 questions back, and then it's questions. You wonder why we take time getting stuff out there? It's because everybody's got a question about something. And then when we think we got it all down, we got one more question.
Does it violate protocol?
So, okay, let's go back to this whole what do you see picture thing. I want to remind everybody that there's a rule in the members packet that specifically states you have to have an introduction with anything you post. I am almost tempted to start deleting your post if you cannot put an introduction on there. When you post a picture, you need to introduce it. You need to talk about it. You need to give us the phase 1 graphic information. You want us to look at it. You want us to see what we see. You better give me the meat to go with it. I mean, that's just help us out here, help us out. Oh, see, now I've got the reps going in the chat room. It drives me crazy. And being the person that runs the photo team, I'm the one that has to look at that stuff. So I'm going to ask you for that information. Just give it to us up front. God, the videos, the pictures, the posts. I mean, everything now, it seems. It's just a little bit of tidbit here and there. Give us some meat. Don't throw us a bone. We don't want a bone.
What do you see? And I'll tell you later. No. I'll tell you what I see. I see a picture without an introduction.
I see a picture that's going to go bye-bye.
Well, and I am completely compassionate to people being attached to these pictures and their evidentiary submission because they have an emotional connection to it. Like one of the members lost a family member. I completely understand that, but what you posted on the page does not have enough. It doesn't have enough support or substance to be able to be ruled as paranormal. It's usually very simply ruled out by camera flare, lens flare, lack of focus. I swear to God, you could go out and take cow manure. If you got a close up of cow manure, folks, it's shit. The long and the short of it, it's a pile of shit. if you focus in on it hard enough, sure, your mind's going to make a picture out of it. Or if it's something you hear and you listen to it hard enough, your ears are going to make something out of it. Show me something that I can't do that with. I'm not asking for all the straws in the haystack. I'm wanting the needle.
Well, and you're probably going to get some orbs off that cow shit, too, because there's going to be flies flying around.
Those are fairies. What is wrong with you?
Oh, God. Oh, let's don't even get started on the fairies. No.
We had the most amazing bumblebee out here the other day, and we have some great big sunflowers. And its back little legs were so full of pollen, and I was just beside myself that it wasn't at night. I was sitting there taking pictures of it, and I was like, Tally, I said, you got to catch it. And he was sitting there looking at me like I'd lost my freaking mind. And I went and got a mason jar, and he was not going to help me. And I was frankly disappointed because, I mean, I think we could have gotten some really interesting pictures of that at night and given it to people and shown them. I mean, yeah, well, they're parts of them are iridescent, very beautiful colors, and the refraction of the lights and colors like that. I mean, it's food for thought for people. That's kind of why I took my Demonology week, and I went and picked different cultures and different demons, just to show people how they're related. Almost every single spiritual and religious culture out there has a demon entity, and some of them have many. Like some people have one X, some people have many. That kind of theory. Well, but what's interesting is that tie that binds, on many of them, how they were hideous and ugly, and they were never human, and if you go back and look at the Sumerian culture, which, predates Christ and the whole Christian movement and stuff like that, it's very interesting to see how their pantheon of gods and demons and those types of things are almost parallel other pantheons, just name different things, with a few different traditions that define them. And the bigger picture in that is what just intrigues me very, very much, that, maybe it was one drop of water in the pond that made that big ripple effect, but it all started with that one drop, so.
It started somewhere.
Absolutely.
Well, it's kind of interesting, when we talk about demonology, it's funny because, coming in to do the show tonight, I was like, I'm not even prepared for this because I know nothing about the demonology, right? I kind of have gotten a little dipped into it this year by caseload and not by choice. So it's like, I feel like I'm learning, what's that phrase? I'm learning by baptism of fire. That's kind of what it feels like. But,
okay.
To study all of the different types of demons and like all the different types of religions and spiritual beliefs, not one person can know all of that stuff. And so when we're talking about, I don't know, somebody posts a picture and, oh my gosh, I think it's evil. Well, is it evil? Is it really evil? What classifies that as evil? And then the people that talk about, oh, it's a demon. Well, and I mean, if we wanted to get even more logical into it, why don't you tell me what kind of demon that is and from what spiritual background or what religious background? You know what I mean? You could go so far and so deep with it, we would make people's heads spin,
It's just Emilio the goat.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Whose buddy was he? Was that Bruce's buddy? Whose buddy was that?
I don't know, but the goat killed me. Oh, my God. Possessed livestock. Could you freaking imagine?
I've seen some possessed dogs.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We live very rurally. Little town of 1,500 people. And, we have deer and whatnot near our house all the time. Well, my sons thought there was some skunk going through our trash can the other night. They had a religious experience when they went out there because two buck deer were out there turning over my trash cans and eating my dianthus.
Are you serious?
Yeah, their eyes were kind of glowing because of the flashlight. The boys scared the bejesus out of them.
Oh gosh!
I thought I was going to pee myself. I haven't laughed so hard in a long time.
You should have got pictures of that. You could have posted it on NPS. We could have learned some more.
I don't want.
I know that's the face I usually get when we're chatting. I'm like, I know that face.
No.
Ghost of trash deer. Yep, that's right.
Oh yeah, maybe Emilio the goat was possessing them.
Maybe they worship Emilio the goat. Maybe they're following his steps, literally.
Wrong farm town. That's the farm town down the road.
Move along. Somebody come herd the goats and the deer and the sheep. I'm sure they'll be next.
You know, there's trauma when they run to the other end of the field when a car stops. No, you know.
Oh my God.
So demon possession has been tied a lot lately to some mental illnesses. You know, we are making huge steps in the mental health fields. But, you know, it was only back, you know, about 50 years ago that they actually started identifying some of these situations. And only recently they've decided schizophrenia is, you know, one of eight different categories. And a lot of times we have members get on the site and say, oh, no, you have an entity, you have a demon, you have these things, and completely just swipe to the side the possibility of it being a mental or an emotional situation. And to me, I find that concerning and kind of dangerous, you know. And so I always kind of try to jump in there and remind everyone that we're not healthcare professionals and that we're not supposed to be contradicting any kind of treatment plan or situation that a doctor's put in place. We're not saying don't question and ask for a second opinion, but I'm real leery of people jumping on there and saying, oh, no, you know, take it in your own hands kind of thing. You know, I don't think that's cool.
And some of the advice that people give, you're just kind of like, did you really just say that?
Oh yeah, you're supposed to grab your little red shoes and click your heels 3 times. It's no place like home. Bitch, be gone. And it's, you know, the demon's supposed to be out of your house. Well, it's for first and foremost is, you know, it's looking for oppression. You know, it's looking for where there is pain, where there is despair. Well, those things aren't usually synonymous with a healthy, happy lifestyle.
Right. Right.
So.
Well, and, you know, there's a list of things to go through when you think that there is some type of oppression or something going on. And that's what people don't get. You know, that's one of the biggest things that I've learned this year taking on some of these cases is, you know, working with Alex behind the scenes and finding out, okay, what is my list? What are my questions that I need to go through? And if I do get a yes on all these questions, what's my next list of questions? And kind of going through all of that, knowing what to do. You know, thankfully, we haven't had anything horrendous. You know, we've had some little things, and I'm hoping, please, that we don't get anything more than that. But it's been one of those procedural type things that you have to go through. It's not just demonic, and you're not just possessed.
That's right.
There's
you qualify it.
Steps to go through that you have to get there.
Absolutely, you go out there and qualify it, right?
Yeah, you have to. And there's so many questions to ask, and so many things that you have to look at too, because it can't just be this or this. There's a list, and as it gets gradually worse, your questions get deeper and your experiences get a little wilder, it seems like. You know, I can have some people that will answer some of the questions and it starts leading that way, but then the rest of them doesn't, so we just kind of keep it swung back on this side. I don't like it when people jump to the conclusion that something's demonic. Tell me, how did you qualify that off of this much information when I've got hundreds of stuff I go through?
Right, nothing makes me more furious than some flamboyant drama queen kicking open a door, you know, flinging salt with their left sugar, licking their finger and going, oh yeah, 12 entities, 4 demonic, what the hell ever.
Yeah.
Dude, You know what? Go try out for sci-fi, seriously.
Yeah, you know what? There's a career in TV for you.
Oh, God. Something. I mean, there's got to be some kind of, you know, paranormal conference that would just love to have one because
Come on. Yeah, and can you take the people with the orbs pictures with you? Just ask it. Yeah, that's like the people that get on there that, you know, say that, oh, well, if you need some help, Pammy, I can help you through the internet. Really?
Wow, that to me is kind of almost like saying that, you know, I don't believe in that. Maybe you can help diagnose the situation, like I said again, through qualification and questioning, and you know. But I do not believe that. I have my doubts about that personally. You know, and a lot of the clients. I don't know how many people have come to see this, but I think a lot of the clients are reaching because TV,
they see it
the
on
internet.
TV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They've got their own issues going on. So I think it's just there can't be something wrong with me or emotionally or physically. It's got to be something around me. And who knows, maybe because of the deficits and deficiencies that they're going through personally, it exacerbates to their environment. Well,
who knows? So there's a question in the chat room. I don't know if you saw it. It says, what if a client's belief system does not have demons?
Then they're probably not calling you up saying, I've got a demon.
It's either that or they've got something else going on that they probably do need to go see a mental specialist for.
Yeah, I mean, it does come down to their personal spiritual beliefs, and that's another reason why I kind of question some of these groups going in and, doing the rosary and driving these demons out, in a very Christian grounded manner when they're not Christian at all, so.
Well, one of the things you should know about your client, it kind of goes back to the series that we did on DNS Live. If you are properly taking care of your cases, you are sitting down from the very first phone call and the very first meeting and asking your client a shit ton of questions. And one of them is asking what their religious and spiritual beliefs are. Because you could come in, we come in with a Christian belief, and we may not have a Christian client. It's not going to do us any good if we do have to do a cleansing and a blessing to give them a Christian one, because that's not what their belief is. I actually think it's kind of disrespectful to come in and say, this is my belief, that's your belief. It's basically, we're going to do it my way. That's not right. They have to live there. It's their home. So why wouldn't you respect that? Why wouldn't you ask about that?
And doing it your way doesn't empower them to make them any stronger in their own home to move forward, So it all comes down to it depends. It really does. And, in some of the situations, people are very embarrassed to call in another team. Not even embarrassed, they're just egotistical about it.
Yeah. Or you've got those that, we have the conversation about, you're going to wear your team shirt. Well, if it's a client's house, they may not want their neighbors to know. So we don't wear anything team related. Probably the only time you ever see Deegan and I in our team shirts is if we're at a conference or if we're going out to a public investigation. That's about the only time you see it. You don't want to draw attention to make things worse for that client and make them feel even more awkward.
Well, we rolled up to an investigation one time in kind of a sketchy part of town, and it was comical because when we got out of the vehicle, we looked like police officers going in to set up a surveillance, and I swear to God, we cleared an entire city block. People went straight into their houses, were peeking out the blinds.
Oh my God.
It was crazy. I laughed my ass off, but until I got into the house, and it was very quick for me to understand the entire mindset of the neighborhood, the people, and I had my questions about the clients to begin with. And it was a suicide of a 14-year-old child. So it was a crazy situation to begin with. There wasn't anything we were going to really find anything in. It was just a situation where we were asked to maybe provide some answers, and we couldn't because, seriously, there was profound mental illness going on in the home and desperate need of bereavement counseling and things like that it had nothing to do with the paranormal.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes I feel like we kind of have a two-sided job. We go out, the client needs to be heard, they need to be told, here's a list of things I think you should do, and then let's go and let's look at this. Once you're done with this list, then let's go here. I have people tell me, it's paralegal in me, that my client interview form is too long. Well, I'm sorry. I want to know everything I can about my client. And I even tell them, I have to know if you've seen a doctor, a therapist, a psychiatrist, what medication you're on. I need to know all of that before I get started because that's going to help me help you. And if it's offensive to you, then I'm going to pack up my toys and go home.
Right.
I can't help you if I don't know all that stuff. And it helps me to know that, we've had one client that we've asked her, have you had this check, this check? She checked out everything until she got to the point where she was like, I think this may be paranormal. Those are the kind of clients you want to work with, the ones that are like, no, I'm right there with you. I want to, knock this off, knock that off. And they don't have a problem with you saying, well, can you go see, a neurologist for those headaches. Let's just get some stuff, checked out. Maybe it's not paranormal. And then they're like, oh, because sometimes they don't want it to be paranormal. Sometimes they don't want it to be medical either.
Right? No, because and I understand that in both directions. Hang on, I gotta turn on a light. It's getting dark in here.
Ugh. See, it's already dark here. This is what happens when you have a couple hours difference between the two of us.
Oh, the light!
Oh, now we can see ya.
Yeah.
What? So it's a little brighter now.
I know.
Yeah, Ashley, go back to your corner in the round room. She says she likes it dark.
Go, baby.
Corner. Alan, you want to handle that?
Take care of our light.
We're doing Demonology month this month for September. It was supposed to have been who this week?
Nobody really, because we were going to talk about the Endeavor project, but because that keeps kind of getting set back, Ken is working so hard on getting that prepared to go onto the site, and once it launches, it's going to be a huge deal. So we've got all the reps lined up on committees right now, so that once the Endeavor project does launch, everything should go much more smoothly than I anticipate. What are we doing to each other over there?
I got them up on that tangent about the corner in the round room so that they'll behave for a little bit. See, we know how to work our reps sometimes. We kind of give them something to do. It's kind of like Candy saying, I need some articles written this month. We go off and we do our stuff, and then we come back. So
I do not give busy work.
It's never busy work. It's always good stuff, but it keeps us busy. So next week is the photography. You guys will see us talking about demonology. We're actually going to cover some of the more well-known demonic cases. Nice. So that'll be kind of cool. We'll attach some pictures to that. So that'll be fun next week. We've got our list of what we want to do. So I've got 2 articles to write for next week for that, plus my article for October coming up for photography. So you guys will start to see we've got a lot, like Candy said, we've got a lot going on. But this month we'll do photography is next week, and then we've got who's finishing it up, or are we going to go ahead and start into our next topic that last week of September? I guess photo team's kind of finishing it up.
We've got 5 weeks in September, so the last week would probably be demonology, and then I don't know who's.
I don't even remember what's up. Alan, do you know what the next month's subject is? I know photography's December because Ashley, our overachiever, is already asking me what she can write on.
All right. But that's awesome, though, because they're thinking ahead and they're putting time and effort. And that's something I don't think the members are aware of. I mean, how could they be? I think it shocked the crap out of a lot of the reps when I finally posted how many committees and pages we actually run for NPS.
We only have one, right?
No. No, there's 27. Well, actually 28 total, but 27 that Sherry and I have one.
That one doesn't count.
No, we talk about wine and six packs.
And and Zach eating cookies sometimes, and
you just stuff a sock in his mouth. Actually, I think it was Laura who came up with the fact that they were trying to maybe make a correlation between succubus and incubi and aliens, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I wonder some of these demonic entities. I mean, if they're we know they're otherworldly, but I mean, are they outerworldly? Is it something that's come here that was basically beginning of like stories and legends and things like that.
Well, and it kind of goes along with the people that say that they've been, they don't remember their visit on a UFO, but they feel like they've been poked and prodded and probed and all of that stuff. So, yeah, it could be.
I've claimed that on a date once before, but nobody believed me.
I wonder if Zach is an alien then. So we have Ghost and Hauntings next month. Thanks, Alan, for looking that up for us. We've got, you were talking about, what's up, girl? We've got 27 different groups behind NPS. So to kind of give you guys a little more of a, I don't know, an overview of things. For each department that we have a group in the background, and we're working on stuff, and we're always doing articles and that type of thing. So when you see stuff on the NPS page, we're not just kind of saying it to say it. A lot of that stuff ends up on the website. A lot of the articles you see on the NPS page end up on the website. So we're looking and we're researching for information to bring that forward for you guys. I mean, we try to be as educational as we can, posting links and that type of thing. So we don't just admin. I hate that word. We don't just admin a page. We're reps. And so we can actually go in and tag you. You know, if you've got a question about cryptozoology, we're going to tag you with Ted. And we're going to let Ted, you know, take the conversation from there and help you out. We're going to feed you to the NPS page, to the crypto page. There's so much more that goes on than just orbs and picture posting on the page that nobody realizes. So I'm real curious to see, now that these teams have been further defined, how much more we get going on the page and how less. I run the photo department, don't get me wrong, but I am so tired of seeing pictures. I want to see some more, you know? I want to see more about aliens, and I want to see more about crypto. I'm tired of seeing the pictures. Pop your head on in there.
Do you want to see my cowgirl's uniform?
No, she doesn't.
That's a different kind of alien right there.
No, this is...
No, I'm trying to find my Halloween costume and Mom's being stubborn.
Oh, you know, I feel sorry for you.
Have fun. I love you. Look at you.
What else we have to deal with outside of the page?
You want to talk about demons? That shit don't scare me at all. I've got a 13-year-old girl.
What's that saying? You don't scare me, I have kids.
No. You know, she's actually, speaking of our children, you know, how the fear-mongering with the demons and crap comes up. You know, Raven's had she's had some extremely profound experiences. She talks to her twin sometimes, has dreams of her twin.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. Hurts to see her. She, when Tally and I first moved into the big house in Grand Junction, it was in, 2007. We'd been there like 2 months, and she was telling us about people not letting her sleep at night. They're coming and talking to me. I can't sleep, Mom. And, you know, I'm sitting here going, okay, talk to me about it. And I had a friend of mine talk to her about it who's very sensitive. And she knew that about Raven from very first being around her. Well, we're downstairs sleeping, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and she let out a blood-curdling scream. And I swear to God, if my husband's feet touched the ground twice before he got to her room, I'm dumbfounded. And Callie leapt out of bed, went and got her and brought her downstairs. And she told me about my miscarriage. I got pregnant with Raven in September, and I had a miscarriage in November. They didn't do a D&C or anything like that. And so I'm like, okay, so I lost my baby. You know, I mourned it the whole 9 yards. Well, in March, I had flutters. And I'm like, I'm pregnant again. I was 26 weeks along.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm. And she knows that her sister's gone, and she talks about it. And it was funny, too, because, you know, some of the church people, the local church people, came to the house to try to recruit the kids and get them to go to their
right.
organization. And she told them about this experience. And they told her it was the devil.
How is that the devil?
Well, you know, if it's not black and white, it's bad, honey. You know, there's no gray area. And I believe that the world is full of gray area. There are yeses and there are nos, period. But we're not going to get anywhere until we figure out how to document our personal experiences and put them in with the scientific evidence. And once we can find a common ground right there, we can start moving forward. Like I said, I understand the people posting pictures and these things and having such an emotional attachment. What I can't understand is somebody automatically fear-mongering and screaming demon.
Right.
Now, I smelled something bad. Well, dude, for starters, where? When? Why? How? I had a woman get very, I had a woman on the page who didn't realize that I was actually the executive director. And I asked her about keeping a journal. I asked her about some things because she had some experiences with Ouija board. And she got very offended by me because I was asking her questions like I was questioning her integrity. And, you know,
You don't get anywhere or learn anything if you don't ask questions.
Right? Well, and I'm going to ask questions. That's just kind of the person I am, you know. And it was funny too, because it wasn't a big deal to me, you know, about being needy. What I was just a little, I was a little taken back that she would be so disrespectful to me and telling me to stay out the thread and quit asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
hello. Why don't you look my name up and see who runs this group?
Well, you know, honestly, it didn't matter. I mean, if she'd have talked to another member like that, that'd piss me off too, you know? But the thing was is that she was so certain that she shouldn't be questioned that I offended her. And what I thought was offensive is that she couldn't stand the questions. I mean,
why would you even post on NPS if you're not going to engage with people? I mean, if you have an experience or a question about something, people are going to ask questions.
You know, I am. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was done.
Well, I like I said, they're so emotionally attached to what they need to believe. Not what it possibly could be, but what they desperately need it to be to fit in that compartment that they can put in their little life and walk away from because, oh, it's okay right there. You know, I don't believe any of the religions have the answer. I believe religion is kind of a designer handbag. I believe you put shit in it and carry it around, and people identify who you are by what's in your bag, right? Doesn't matter if it's a Dooney and Burke or a Chanel or you got it at Kmart. You know what I mean?
Right.
But what really matters isn't what it is what it's for. You know? The whole, you know, I've been on a couple cases where the clients were certain it was demonic entities. We found out very quickly, you know, it was some people with some vivid imaginations, you know, very little investigating, and a whole lot of desire to be very, very special. And that's what a lot of this comes down to. You know, people are so desperate to be unique, they're failing to be useful. You know?
They're grasping for the wrong thing at times too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, you were saying about the one member. You know, they want it to be something and they're so emotionally attached to it that we need to start giving some thought to the back end of that and seeing how we can help those people separate and kind of stand outside of the circle, outside of the box, and be able to see it. And I don't know that anybody has the right answer of how to be able to do that. And we can get, you know, as frustrated as can be trying to help them see the outside of it, but until they're ready to really accept it, it's never going to happen. And so we're just going to sit there frustrating ourselves. They're going to get frustrated because we're asking questions, trying to learn, trying to understand their side. There's really not a good way to help them out of that because they have to want it on their own.
I'm sitting here laughing at the chat room, you know, because somebody's sitting there telling us why some animals eat their young. I get it. Well, you know, and I think NPS has come along.
I told you today, man, we brought them into this world. We can take them out.
Yeah, and then they'd haunt me. Yeah, double-edged sword. Then they'd haunt me, and then I would have demons.
Oh shit! I didn't think.
I know. Somebody's going, demons were never human, but I don't agree.
You know, how do we know? Have you sat down and interviewed one?
Well,
because if you interviewed that one, did you interview the spirit orb that had the face inside the ball too?
Well, just the fairy, you know. I don't know. I honestly believe that there's something out there for us to find. I really do. I believe that the opportunity has been compounded with difficulty just because of everybody is so excited about it. You know what I mean? That they lose perspective. You know, and we've got some teams out there doing great work and working hard to figure stuff out. You know, and you have other teams out there, you know, asking for money and moving entities out of people's homes over the phone. You know, I have questions about that. You know,
I don't get that. You know, if you're not there in person to see and witness, feel the energy, talk to the client face to face, how are you doing them any kind of service through the internet, through the phone, through a text message. I mean, how are you able to do that? I mean, we're humans. We need that one-on-one. You know what I mean? I can help you through the internet to a certain extent, and then I'm going to tell you, find a team in your area.
I'll tell you what, if I ever heard somebody was moving an entity out of somebody's home via text message, I'd probably lose my composure right there.
Oh, my God.
I'd be like, seriously? Hey.
Well, it's like the people that, if you want to call me up and I'm in another state, I can go ahead and get rid of that for you. It'll be $5.99 a minute.
Right. Well, and there was a comment on the page not too long ago about some team getting upset that some people in the local area had called the team in from another city. And, it's a personal choice. I have the right to decide who's coming into my home. And it doesn't mean that people sitting in I'm not, the local yahoos may not have been who spoke to me, or secondarily, maybe I personally knew them somehow and I felt uncomfortable calling them. But whatever it ultimately was, the decision is absolutely mine and should be respected, right? It's not up for debate. If I call in these people, it's none of your damn business because I'm letting them in on my property.
My property, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I promise you, I've seen some teams out there, overzealous, not doing a very clean or good job. And I promise you, if they just showed up at my door, they'd probably gotten maced. You know what I mean? Well, seriously, people.
What about the ones that sprinkle the glitter? I mean, Eric and I talked about that one.
That would piss me off. You know how hard it is to get glitter out of carpet? Oh.
Talk about questioning methods and questioning things. I mean, who the hell told you that to begin with? Unless you're having a teenage girl's party, which pays a do a glitter party with her fairies.
It was a substance abuse fairy, Get high and go to somebody's house.
Or the other. I don't get some people. And, people make fun of us at times because we don't have the latest technology. There's a reason we don't have the latest technology. There's a reason why we don't do the latest technology. There's a reason why we stay with the old school stuff. I used to do tech support. I know that computers have glitches, so do you think I'm really that trusty over some of my technical equipment too? I mean, come on. My camera doesn't help me very much. I mean, I love taking pictures and I love handling photography, but my DSLR is not going to show me anything. So, I mean, you got to kind of pick and choose what you use, and you should be using a method that you can try over and over and over again. I don't know that I can necessarily set up some of my technology equipment and have the same thing happen in an exact experiment every time. My battery's going to be lower or higher, you know what I mean?
Well, and I asked you a question about that too, about the equipment. I don't think a lot of people take into consideration that, your cameras and your equipment are affected by the environment, the extreme heat, extreme cold, extreme moisture. Over a period of time, those things cause, it's like a car. Those things, degrade your quality of function of your equipment. And, batteries, I mean.
Everything's affected. People may not know this, and I probably need to point it out on the photography page, and I need to make a note about it. Every single camera made, whether it's a DSLR, a point and shoot, any of that, they are only made to do a certain amount of images, a certain amount of you pressing the button and taking a picture before they're kind of expired. People buy DSLRs and they spend a lot of money on them, and you think it's going to last for years and years and years. Well, if you're taking several pictures all the time, you're actually expiring. It's almost like mileage on a car. Mm-hmm. And you need to know that about your camera, and you need to know about how many images you've shot, because when I first bought my camera brand new and took my first image versus my, 5,000 picture, it's going to be different. And so you can't really say, I went to the same spot at the same time with the same humidity, same temperature, same moon phase, all of that, because the one thing that's going to be different is going to be that one piece of equipment. But you know what? I can take my pendulum or my dowsing rods and take something else and probably get a better result out of it. So we have to be thinking about that. We use all of these cameras to film, which is great, but they're the same thing as a regular DSLR. And some of these modern technology things, at least the DSLR has a mechanical shutter, right? And ISO setting and everything else. But we have all these modern things that we use. I mean, even our Paranology's equipment, we can't always say that one piece of equipment that we invested in is going to work the same day as it's going to work in 5 years. Technology changes. Why wouldn't you think that it doesn't expire too?
Absolutely. Well, and two, people need to be familiar with their equipment, even if they're using the same thing they used 3 years ago. Just because it's new doesn't always mean it's better. If you actually know how to use that piece of equipment and you're getting consistent readings off of it, there you've established a baseline, and a mechanical baseline at least, So, and cell phone pics, I am.
To cover cell phone pictures. Guys, okay, let's just make this real easy. This device right here is a phone. It was made to blah, 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 blah on, okay? The camera feature, and that's me. The camera feature is a bonus for if you're out and you just want to take a picture. It's not a DSLR. You can't set the shutter speed on it. You can't adjust the ISO on it. You can't do any of that stuff. This is not a real camera. It doesn't function like a real camera. It doesn't have the mirrors inside, the lens inside, none of that. Do you know that iPhones have had an issue because of the coating that they put on the lens that causes a purple blur? So when you're posting it on the NPS page, I'm going to send you that link and tell you to try again. There's a reason why this is a phone, and everybody has one. And there's a reason why there's a DSLR or a point and shoot. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Demons made you get up there.
I'm telling you, man, I'm possessed tonight.
The one thing that we've got amazing opportunity for with NPS is having, Alex be part of it, with all of his theology studies and his very rounded view of things. He's incredible. He's an incredible source of knowledge. Mm-hmm. And there was a member who asked us about our qualifications, and this demonology is the study of demons. Demonologist is a person who studies demonology. It doesn't mean that anybody's got a certification, and if they do, you kick them out of your house. You don't trust that crap until you get it verified. Oh my gosh. I would, it's like getting a kid fresh out of college that's got a 4-year degree or taking the operator off that piece of equipment who's been running it for 30 years. I'd take the operator first,
Right.
And actually talking to both of them would actually be the most beneficial because you could get a better rounded opportunity to discover what you're looking at. That's what NPS is trying to bring to people. We are trying to bring objectivity and I'm going to bring you an article that may piss you off, and then I may bring you an article that you could totally go along with. But the thing I'm asking you to do is to take pieces and parts of each and put them together and come up with something that you find, that you find value in substance.
Something that you're going to learn from. That's the big thing about it,
And the reps, and the directors and the executive director, everybody's busting their butt, and we're sorry we can't referee the page every second of the day. We kind of expect people to be adults and
behave, be nice,
and have thick skin. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I hate your guts. You got to take your ball, pick it up, go home.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that want to learn and figure something out, we've got an opportunity in front of us. We have a huge opportunity in front of us, and NPS is just growing by the day. And the reps are the bomb. We have got such a collective of smart, wonderful people.
Yeah, we do.
And they do it because they love it for no other reason. And
paid for it. They're all volunteers. They all have a passion for it. So, people need to remember that too when we're out there. If you want to be snippy with us, that's great. I want to see your qualifications.
Right. What qualifies me to have the page?
Let me think.
Three.
Just stay off my thread, okay? I'm sorry. If you're going to tell Candy to stay off your thread, I'm hopping on. Let's see you tell me to stay off the page. Because Alex will hop on.
Everybody will get off your thread, I promise, because your thread will be gone. No, I'm kidding. I don't have to do that.
We're not like that. And yes, that is Facebook glitches. We do not just delete threads.
Yeah, no.
Learn how to check your others folder for messages.
Well, and here's another thing, just because somebody gets crappy with me doesn't mean I delete them or kick them out. You can totally disagree with me, but I will only take as much disrespect from you as that I would give to you, which is none. Like I said, the reps are the backbone of NPS, and they're the ones actually pushing it forward. We have many people coming because there's an opportunity to learn here. And we have some great members that, Al, Deborah.
Knowledgeable members.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And they make a huge difference for us, And if you're coming in with a bitch or a gripe, come in with a solution. Don't come in and say, I don't like the way this is run. Well, what about it concerns you? And if you can't correct it, or I'm not willing to make those, and I didn't come up with the reps protocol or the members packet by accident. And, I'm sure that there's something that you will find, you'll have issue with. Unfortunately, it's what best suits the needs for the many instead of the desires of the few.
Yeah. People don't realize that, and I love it because people love to bitch about the rules packet. You guys don't realize, when was NPS started again, Candy?
2011.
So that's 3 years that the same rules have been in place?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Just saying, it's not like we just pulled them out of our ass yesterday or last month. They've been in place for a long time. And with 48,000 members, we have yet to see really anybody bitch about it. So, and they're all common sense stuff. It's really common sense. Yeah, we're kind of strict about our rules because we want to facilitate discussion. We don't want to have arguments on the page. You guys need to learn how to agree to disagree and learn from one another. I mean, we shouldn't have to tell you to be nice, and we shouldn't have to tell you not to cuss. We shouldn't have to remind you that we have young adult investigators on the thread or younger. We shouldn't have to do any of that.
Oh, and let me make sure that you guys realize that my daughter snitches on you people when you're bad. I get text messages, and she screenshots your crap, and she sends it to me. I'm like,
we're bad.
All right. She's like, Mom, did you see this? So this isn't right. But you know what? I couldn't be prouder of NPS. And, and we're growing like a storm. So now we just have to figure out our direction. And everybody keeps hearing about Endeavor launching and doesn't know much about it. Well, when we decide when it's all ready and it's flawless and we put it out there, you guys are going to be totally excited about it because it's the next big thing.
Project. Yeah, it's a massive undertaking. It's going to take a little while. I mean, yeah, we had hoped it was going to launch a little bit sooner, but we want it to be perfect when it comes out.
It's a little more complicated than we first had anticipated. And, we have an amazing webmaster. He's done just phenomenal stuff with the site itself, and he's back there coding and working to make sure all the links are perfect. And he's kind of perfectionist, which I love about him. Makes me giggle. But it's because of the executive directors and these amazing reps that NPS is just growing, and the bar is raising. I mean, we've got firefighters, we've got police officers, private investigators, we've got nurses. We've had doctors, lawyers. I mean, and then we've got moms and dads and executive assistants. We've got the gamut, folks. We've got so much perspective, and that's what we wanted. We wanted things well-rounded, and we wanted people to come, be able to come to us and have the opportunity to ask questions in a safe learning environment. And I believe NPS is a safe learning environment. We don't tolerate any of the other crap. And the fear-mongering, we don't tolerate that either. Now, if you come to us with legitimate situation, we will take you through and have you talk to Alex. He will give you insight and information, and we will get the closest qualified person to you available.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just to add to that, and Candy, you kind of forgot, which surprises me.
What?
NPS started off itty-bitty within the United States, and now we are stretching globally. So when you're talking about reps on the page and that whole wealth of information, the well-roundedness, it's not just stateside. It is global. So now we've got a bigger reach than we ever thought was going to be possible. I don't think Eric would have ever named it National Paranormal Society if we had known how much it was going to reach. And I mean, that just speaks to the volume of the people on the page and those of us behind the page running it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We've got a foothold in Dubai, in Saudi Arabia. We have footholds in Malta. We have footholds in Scotland, the UK. We have footholds in Africa. We are working on footholds in Japan right now. That's kind of sketchy because of the language barrier. We're working very hard. And to the cultural differences, we had somebody from South America, a member not too long ago, who who had a real difficult time, but managed it out. And India also, Ashley's reminding me.
Our international director.
Yeah, our international director and senior director, David and Ashley, they are just busting their butt. Ashley is on all sorts of other sites trying to recruit people in to bring their perspective from their culture into NPS. And, you are not a language barrier person, Ashley.
She uses Google Translate rather well.
I know. She does a killer job. Like I said, we've got so many people. Ashley, even though she's a stay-at-home, she's a marketing machine. She's amazing. I know if I give her something to do, it's going to be done, and done like that, and done well.
Yeah.
And it's a total relief, in the position I'm in, that I don't really have to worry.
No, and it's good to know that international, because we started international, it was small.
Mm-hmm.
And then we kind of grew it, and now it's like, oh my God, it's taken off.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's...
Yeah. In about 6 months, it's just getting bigger and bigger, like you said. And Ken's actually designing its own tab on the website so that they can start expounding and growing. Yeah, I think it's wonderful. And like I said, once Endeavor launches, we have a whole nother education and research tab coming up that is going to kind of parallel that. And
more work.
Sherry, they've been working their butts off.
You see reruns on the shows.
It's because we go to work, we come home, and we do more work.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oh yeah, it's a never-ending project, and the thing is that I bet we have maybe 55, 60,000 people on the page by December. I mean, if we keep at the rate, I just can't imagine that.
I mean, look at where we were in January. I mean, if we had known it was going to grow this fast, we probably would have taken a snapshot January 1st. And then again on December 31st, you know what I mean? And then
no.
What the hell did we start?
12,000 people. 12,000 people. We tripled it.
It's just crazy.
I know, right? No, actually. Who's Puppy? Oh, you guys are so funny.
Well, we got, a couple of minutes left here, so I'll let you wrap it up.
All right, we'd like to thank you for joining us this evening with Sherry Collins and me, Candy Meehan, for Focus sponsored by the National Paranormal Society. You can come see us on Facebook, or you can visit us at the website, www.national-paranormal-society.org. And you can also come visit the One Stop Occult Shop, Blessed Bee. That's www.blessedb.cc. Thank you so much for joining us. And we couldn't do it without you guys. Let's keep it all up.
Next week we'll be talking still about some demonology, so you guys tune in.
Right? Into the phenomenal photography.
The photo team! My guys, that's right. Rockin'.